Welcome to All Things Moore County, Moore County's weekly radio show highlighting the many facets of the Sandhills. That includes real estate, lifestyle, community and neighborhoods. And now from 4 Properties, here's your host, Bill Sahadi.
Good morning. Welcome to the talk show, All Things Moore County. We are smack in the middle of spring, and we think, Dorothy, pollen season is just about saying goodbye to us.
I should hope so.
A little bit earlier this year. The thing that is so cool about this year is that there are so many events going on. The pandemic that affected so many activities over the last couple of years has sort of stepped back, and there's a lot of energy, a lot of things going on in Moore County in the next couple of weeks. And this show, we're going to cover quite a few events. We're going to start, we want to speak with the Sandhills Women's Exchange. Barb Summers is here. She's the president of the board. And Elizabeth Fisher, who is a co-chair and advisor to the Women's Exchange. And you've been on in the past, Barb. Elizabeth, your first time?
Yes.
Okay. How gentle, how soft her voice is. It appears to me that you are all, as an organization, doing a lot of fundraising, a lot of events. You're back to full throttle, so to speak.
Yes, we are, Bill. We're navigated through COVID, and of course, there's always out there on the horizon. Do you wonder if there'll be a repeat? But we opened back up in September, and of course, we're excited because this is our centennial celebration.
So 100 years.
100 years.
I had no idea.
Yeah, well, a lot of people didn't, and I think what's so great about it is that, first of all, the Exchange Movement is the oldest women's organization in the country, started in 1823, and also there one time was 98 exchanges, and we are sadly down to 16, but we are one of those 16, and to be at this milestone is pretty amazing.
Big picture, the role of the Women's Exchange in the community.
Well, first of all, because we are housed in the oldest historic building
right
in the village. Also because our motto and our mission has always been to help others help themselves, and we do that through our artisans and that. And again, we've been able to continue with that, but then we've grown from that. And of course, our Cabin Cafe has become extremely popular. Yesterday, just to say, we served 77 lunches.
Did you really?
Yes.
So for people who, people are probably aware of the building, the cabin, but they may not know that it's a women's exchange. Can you talk about the building just for a minute?
Well, the very front, which is where you always come in, that's the actual original cabin that was moved there back in 1896. By
right.
Mr. Tufts, founder of Pinehurst.
Right.
And so we started there actually in 1924, physically using that part of it, outgrew it, and then added, of course, our gift shop, and then Cabin Cafe came about in the mid-50s. But so it's such a great complement of the exchange movement history and also for the cabin itself.
As people are driving into Pinehurst on Midland Road, if they look to their left as number 2, golf course meanders around, the cabin sits. It's an iconic building. Correct. And a great location.
Yes, we're at 15 Azalea Road, and another point of focus would be the village chapel is directly across the street from us.
Exactly.
So we use that many times.
Exactly. So there's a Centennial Dinner Dance that you are going to talk about. Elizabeth, you're the co-chair of this particular event.
Yes, of the dinner dance.
You're only selling raffle. Well, you have a raffle going on where you're going to sell 300 raffle tickets.
Right. Well, we are celebrating the dance on May 19th, and tickets for the dance, it's a dinner dance. White Rabbit Catering will be doing it, and we have Carolina Moon Dogs will be 11-piece orchestra band that will be performing that night. The dinner dance is a celebration. It's festive attire. The tickets are $100. To celebrate our $100 centennial. And in order to keep the ticket price at that point, we wanted to have an additional fundraiser because this is not an auction. per se, or not a live auction.
Right.
So we're offering 300 raffle tickets that are on sale now,
Okay.
and they'll be on sale until we sell out. We're only going to sell 300 raffle tickets. And we're super excited because the prizes for these raffle tickets are unique and something the Women's Exchange has never really done before.
Okay.
There'll be 3 winners of the raffle. The first prize is a grand prize, and it's sponsored by Victoria Atkins of Coldwell Banker Realty.
Great lady, great broker.
Yeah. And that's the winner's choice package. And with the winner's choice package, the winner can choose one destination for 2 people from one of the following 3 incredible vacation packages.
Okay.
The packages are a World Traveler package, a USA Explorer package, and the Ultimate Sports Fan package.
Wow.
So if you were going to choose one, which would you choose?
The World Traveler
The
package.
World Traveler package. Good choice.
Yeah.
So the World Traveler package is amazing.
Okay.
It does not include airfare because we realize that a lot of people have points that
Right.
they might want to use for that. So we put all the resources toward luxury accommodations, and you would have a choice of staying in Tuscany, Bali, Ireland, Paris, or Greece.
That's ridiculous. That's great.
Isn't that fabulous? And it's 5 nights in most cities, 7 nights in Bali because it's a bit further. The package also, depending on the location, would include some dinners, massage treatments, perhaps a concert, or cooking class. Just depends on the location.
Wow.
But if you chose the U.S. Explorer package, you'd have a choice to spend 3 nights in 6 of the U.S. cities. Some people don't like to travel internationally, so because of COVID, we're trying to have something for everyone. So the U.S. Explorer, you would have New York City, Sonoma, Disney World Adventure in Orlando, Boston, New Orleans, and if you didn't want to get on an airplane at all, you could go to Charleston, South Carolina. And these 2 are 3 nights in 4-star hotels. Some include historic carriage rides, a cooking class, a jazz concert, depending on the location.
Wow.
Now, if you say, I'm not into that kind of travel at all, I'm a super sports fan, I want to see the Carolina Panthers play the Denver Broncos, you would have a choice of over 5,000 regular season games for NHL, NFL, NBA, MLB, or a PGA non-major tournament. This package, you would have 2 nights at this location. You pick the date, you pick the game, you pick the city, and you would have 2 lower level seats, good seats, or if it's to a non-major tournament for the PGA, grounds passes.
Okay.
So these are pretty exciting. We're super thrilled about being able to offer this. But to me, one of the things that makes this so appealing, especially during this pandemic, is that if you win this prize, it is transferable. If that night you say, I really don't want to do any of this, but my son's getting married, I like to give it to them to use as their honeymoon.
Right.
You can transfer this package to someone else.
Right.
And they have 1 year to book the trip and 2 years to actually take the trip.
Who put these packages together? This is very compelling.
This is extremely compelling. We are working with a 12-year-old organization, Auction Packages.
I thought you were going to say a 12-year-old.
No. Well, some days it feels like that. It was their idea, actually.
Okay.
No, but this is all they do is provide auction packages,
Okay.
and they have relationships with luxury hotels all over the world.
Wow.
And so we chose these 3 different packages to have something for everyone. So that's just the grand prize.
Okay. How about what's second place?
Second place is if you want to stay in Pinehurst. The
Okay.
Pinehurst Resort is sponsoring this package and offering a fabulous 3-day, 2-night staycation at the Pinehurst Resort. It's a spa escape package. You have a choice of which Pinehurst Resort hotel that you would like to stay in. You would have breakfast for 2 each morning at the Carolina Hotel, a dinner for 2 each night at whichever resort dining facility you prefer, as well as 2 spa treatments per day. So that's a fabulous staycation.
Very good.
We're grateful for the resort to offer that.
Yeah.
And then third place is...
the intonation in her voice is all over the place. It's great. Okay.
Third place is you would get to use our charming 1,800-year-old log cabin for a private event.
Okay.
You can invite 36 of your best friends and family and have a private party at the log cabin.
Very nice.
Doesn't include food or beverages, but you get to use our fabulous, charming venue.
And for people who live here who have not been to the cabin, I really encourage them to go. It's charming. It's part of the lore of Pinehurst, and it is like stepping back in time. So I'm going to definitely buy a raffle ticket.
Great. Got it right here for you.
She's got me signed up already.
Yes.
I see that. The event, the dinner dance, is going to be May 19th.
Correct.
At the Fair Barn.
At the Fair Barn.
Which is a great venue.
It is. And it has a lot of historic, value to it also, to Pinehurst. And we just, it is a little out of the box for us to go to this large of a venue and to try something. But as Elizabeth said, it's our celebration, and it is from 6:30 to 10. Again, White Rabbit is doing the catering. It is a BYOB event. That way everybody can kind of choose, because some people like certain wines. So we thought, let's not complicate the issue.
So bring your own booze.
Right. And it's just the 11-piece orchestra will endeavor to be playing music from a lot of the different eras. And it's just to be a fun evening to celebrate and kind of wind down this first part of our celebration.
Okay.
And the winning raffle tickets for these fabulous prizes will be drawn at this event on May 19th.
Okay.
But you don't have to be present to win. Just have your phone handy, because we're going to call you and let you know which prize that you've won if you're not there. And we're only selling 300 raffle tickets, and to honor our 100-year anniversary, the tickets are $100. They're on sale at the Women's Exchange, or you can call to purchase them over the phone, and I can give our phone number.
Yes.
910-295-4677. And if you would like to learn specific package details, please go to our website at www.sandhills, the WE is for Women's Exchange, .org/raffle. That will take you right to the raffle page. If you click on the events tab, it will also give you the information about our fabulous centennial celebration.
I'm going to hire her.
Yes, that's right. I think she should be taking my spot down the road on our board.
You that big shoes to fill there, Barbara.
I love your enthusiasm. We have in the second set Jacob Toth, who's the executive artistic director at the Encore Center. They could recruit her for one of the upcoming events.
That's right.
Have you ever been to the Encore Center?
No.
Oh, you need to go.
Yeah.
Have you been?
Yes.
You've seen a couple of their, it's they've been growing by leaps and bounds over the last 2.5, 3 years. You would fit. You would be great. You're going to meet him. You're going to meet him in between sets for sure.
That's a huge compliment. Thank you.
Elizabeth Fisher, thanks for coming and joining us. Barb Summers, it's good to see you.
You too, Bill.
The event is a Centennial Dinner Dance for the Sandhills Women's Exchange, May 19th, 6:30 to 10 o'clock at the Fair Barn. Should be a beautiful evening. It's a great facility, and I hope as a result of marketing this dinner dance, you get a lot of new people to come in who maybe are not as familiar with Women's Exchange. Right. As the demographics are shifting, you're appealing to all different types of generations, not just the civic, not just the baby boomer generation.
Right.
And that's important too.
Well, and we are trying to bring in that younger, the next generation of the community and get them involved in that. And that's a constant challenge, but we hope things like this will do that.
Well, Moore County is going to be a very busy place in the next 4 or 5 weeks, and we're glad that you could come in and be part of it. Thanks for coming and joining us.
Well, thank you.
Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Great.
It's
Thank
a
you
pleasure.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. This is All Things Moore County. We'll be back in the second set. Welcome back to the second set of All Things Moore County. We're going to be going through a lot of different events today, and this set and part of next set, we want to talk about one of our favorite return guests and one of our great organizations that is not that old, 3 years?
End of our third season.
That was Jacob Toth, the executive and artistic director of the Encore Center. He may have set a record for most appearances on the show in the last year and a half. I'm going to guess, but Jacob, every time you come on, you're here with news, you're here with exciting information.
Absolutely.
Encore Center is killing it.
We're blowing it up. We're blowing it up.
You have an event coming up April the 29th.
That's right. It's the closing of our third season, our final show of our season. It's a little musical called the Spitfire Grill, one of my favorites. A lot of people probably remember the movie from 1996 with Ellen Bernstein and, Stephen, no, he was in the Broadway production of it. Anyway, there's people in the movie that you know, and it's lovely and it's wonderful. It's just a sweet, tender show, and the musical was only on Broadway for 5 weeks.
Why?
You know, because it opened at September 11th. It actually opened September 7th, and then September 11th happened. So it ran for 5 weeks, and then it was done.
Oh, no kidding.
So, yeah.
They never resurrected it.
Well, there's been over 700 productions of it all over the world. Japan, Singapore, the Netherlands, Germany, all over America. So there's been a ton of productions of it. And the other thing is, one of the writers, the week before it was going into workshop, he passed away from a heart attack. He was running in the woods outside of his Wisconsin home, and he died of a heart attack. So there's so many things, so many layers to this show. And so it's very sweet and very tender and touching. And I had the just fortunate, life to be able to have seen it when it was running.
Is that right?
I did. I went home. I was supposed to be flying home on September 11th to New York, and obviously couldn't. So I got home a week later, and then a good friend of mine, Garrett Elise Long, was playing Percy in the show, and I got to see her perform, and it was just a show that I just loved and have always wanted to do. And this young woman sitting next to me came into auditions, and I was like, yes, I can do this show. So here we are.
The show is going to run from Friday the 29th of April,
correct,
a 7:30 show, and you're running through the 8th of May, so you're doing 2 weekends.
2 weekends, yep, as always, 2 weekends, 4 shows each weekend, Friday night at 7:30, Saturday at 2 o'clock and 7:30, and Sunday at 2 o'clock.
Cliff Notes version,
Yes.
Spitfire Grill. It was a movie about redemption.
Correct. It's about second chances. There's a young woman at the very start of the show who's getting out of prison down in the Kentucky area, and she wants to get away and start anew, and she finds this clipping of this magazine article about this small town called Gilead in Wisconsin, which is totally made up. There's no such place called Gilead. So she gets on a bus and goes up there. She is put in touch with this older woman who runs a grill and has an apartment above, or a house above, and so she gets to live with her, and they go through some struggling times, but the older woman wants to sell the grill, and she's trying to figure out how to do that. And so Percy says to her, why don't we have a raffle? People write in with a letter and $100, and you give it to the best one. And Hannah thinks, well, why not? I could get at least $100 out of the place. Well, this small town all of a sudden gets infiltrated with letters and letters, thousands and thousands of letters. And in the end, she has to pick her favorite one, and I won't give away who she gives it to.
Is that right? Well, you also, you've asked a couple of the lead actors and actresses to come and join us today.
I have.
Betty Ann O'Brien?
Yes.
Now, I just, the minute I said hello to her and I heard her,
She's the only reason I brought her because of you.
I said, what part of Brooklyn may you be from? But you're not. You're from Staten Island, and you've lived in North Carolina for how long?
I came to Cary in August of '04.
Okay. And you couldn't wait to get down here once you got to Cary.
You got that right.
Right?
You got that right.
Did you take an express train, or what did you do? How'd you get down here?
Well, there comes a time with a gal who lives by herself says, well, I got to retire someplace, so I may as well be reasonably near family.
Right.
So we looked around here, there, and I have a sister here in Phoenix Village, and my brother at that time was in Charlotte. So I wound up coming to North Carolina, and it actually came right here because I'm at Belle Meade, and you look around all these different places. They have different features, different things to offer.
Right.
And Belle Meade was the place I selected.
Right. So you have a very strong presence, just from saying hello. How did it happen that you and Jacob hooked up?
Well, I don't have a car, and being in this area without a car is really crippling.
Yeah.
So one day I was on, it was during COVID and being new out there. They have very nice activities and all. Some I don't. Over there, bridge is a religion.
Yep.
And I don't do bridge.
Funny.
Maybe the Brooklyn Bridge. So I was getting in line because I had auditioned when I was in Cary and Raleigh. I auditioned up there a little bit. I every so often look over what the Temple Theater was doing. So I thought, what's going on around here?
Right.
And I stumbled on auditions. So I said, and then he was auditioning for a whole bunch of plays. And I kind of thought, well, that, I can't think of the first one, the
Steel
hairdresser.
Magnolias.
I thought, well, I could be one of those Steel Magnolias. There was
Right.
an older role there from, can't think of who the theater lady was.
Weezer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went in, and I didn't know I was signing up for a musical, but here I am.
Jeez. Are you going to sue him? For misrepresentation?
No, probably not.
Yeah.
I don't think I get. My dad just say can sue anybody, but it's hard to collect.
So let me tell you a little bit something about Jacob.
Okay.
Once he
My
gets an
audience.
idea in his head, you cannot change it. He could have said, "Oh, you're going to come in and audition with 23 other people," but he's already made up his mind. He already knew he was going to cast you, right? Is that correct?
That's true.
Isn't
As
it?
soon as she walked in the door.
I was probably the only gray-haired person who came in for auditions.
That's
I
not
suspect.
true.
Well, you have a great personality. You went to University of California, Berkeley.
Yeah, I was in Berkeley in the '60s. I got my graduate degree there.
What did you do in your life? What did you do?
I'm a librarian. I worked in academic libraries. In fact, I stayed in Berkeley longer because I was working at the law school library there.
Right.
And at some point, I thought this place is going to fall in the ocean. And I got a phone call that my mother and father dropped dead. And it was also getting very depressing. That flower child nonsense was very, very depressing. Okay. So I decided to go home. And so I was at an academic library, community college on Staten Island for a couple of years. Yeah. Then I moved into public libraries in Pennsylvania, and that's where I dropped anchors in Pennsylvania.
Okay, I've heard enough. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. The Encore Center is going to have a management meeting. Jacob is going to go to the management, and he's going to say, I have an idea. We're going to do a soliloquy with Betty Ann O'Brien. It's going to be a one-night show just with her. And what do they call those shows when it's an evening with one particular actor or actress?
That's just it. An evening with.
An
That's all
evening
you
with.
need.
Do you want me to audition right now?
No, you've already got it.
It's already yours.
Yeah, it's already yours. And you're playing Hannah Ferguson. She's the owner of the
She is.
Spitfire
Yep,
Grill.
yep.
Hannah.
And your relationship with the lady sitting to your right, who is Julie Briggs, who is a resident of Whispering Pines. Julie, you play the Percy Talbot character. Yes. You are out of prison. You hook up with her, and your relationship, you guys have to have a great chemistry, obviously, to be able to pull this off.
Yes, I think so.
She's a character.
She is.
How do you handle her? What do you do?
You know, Betty and I have had a lot of time in the car together. Been picking her up and taking her home, and
Right.
enjoyed our chats, getting to know her in the car, and I think that's helping our relationship for the play.
Right. You are originally from North Carolina?
Yes, in the Charlotte area.
And you got here through family moving here for jobs?
Yes, I've been here for almost 4 years.
And how'd you and Jacob hook up?
I was just looking in the area for things to do, and haven't done any acting in many years, but saw that there were open auditions for the Encore Center, so I thought I'd get my feet wet again. And went in there. Also didn't realize it was a musical that I was auditioning for, but
I don't give away all the secrets.
but very happy that this came about the way it has.
A lot of singing?
Yes, a lot of singing.
Have you done that before?
Some, not much.
Okay.
She has.
Yes.
She has a beautiful voice. She's just
that right?
pulling your leg.
So the Encore Center, it's a crazy place, isn't it?
It is.
Were you aware of it before?
I had seen a couple productions there before.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jacob, I think that, and we're going to introduce James in just a second. I think a lot of the students, the young students that come for classes, you wind up connecting with their parents.
Absolutely.
And wind up finding, you find quite a bit of local talent in Moore County.
Yeah, we've had a great year this year because we had, I think, somewhere between 45 and 50 people come audition. I did season auditions, which Betty Ann was talking about, which means I did one set of auditions early in the year, like in July, and it was for the whole season, all 6 of my shows.
Right.
And so the nice thing is I was able to cast all but 2 of those people in shows. So literally everyone is different in every show. No one has done 2 shows this year. This show in particular, I think I have 1 person that has performed on our stage before. Everyone else is new, as you can see from half of the cast that I brought you here today. So it's exciting because we're getting new people in, new blood. People are finding out about us. People are hearing about us. We're growing and changing, the look of the arts here in the Sandhills community.
You've also brought James Wheeler, Jim.
Yes, sir.
You play Joe Sutter.
I do.
And you actually have performed at the Sunrise.
Yes, yeah. I'm brand new to the area, but I wanted to get into theater as quickly as possible. So somebody slid me the audition info for the Sunrise, and pretty much right after I auditioned for the Sunrise, I got a call from my director of that show and said, "Hey, do you sing by any chance?" And I said, yeah, I've done a couple musicals, and they put me in touch with Jacob and said, yep, they're looking for somebody for Spitfire Grill, so if you could just give him a call. And I said, sure. Called Jacob, and he said, all right, if you can send me an audition video and a headshot, we're good to go. And I said, okay.
Had you been aware of the Encore Center prior to that?
I had, but only on the side because I really didn't know about the season auditions, and also I got here in July, so that was a little early for me to be realizing that was going on. So I had heard about them, but I had not been to any shows or even been to the theater.
And you also you work as a teaching artist?
I do. I teach theater to K through 5 students in Sanford through an AmeriCorps program called Artist Year.
Do kids need to be taught theater? Aren't they just naturally dramatic?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes. But the skills they can get from it are incredible. Right. The kids I've seen be able to speak.
Yeah.
Now after doing a couple monologues or pieces or anything is incredible.
Yeah. Let's come back in the third set, actually. Spitfire Grill is going to open at the Encore Center on April the 29th. It's going to run 2 weekends through May the 8th, and we have the privilege of speaking with a couple of the stars of the show and the executive artistic director, Jacob Toth. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our final set of All Things Moore County. The Encore Center is putting on the production of Spitfire Grill, April 29th through May the 8th. Every time we have Jacob come in, we talk about the different productions, how busy the Encore Center is. But I always ask them the same question. I'm going to ask them again. Why this particular play at this particular moment?
Coming off the year that we've had, between, trying to get out of COVID, and every time you think we're done with it, it rears its ugly head and something else happens and we have to adjust. It's this whole idea for me about second chances and redeeming yourself. And there's just this beautiful story about how you have to make family with where you're at. Sometimes you're in an area where you don't have family.
Right.
So you have to create your family.
Right.
And Encore definitely has done that for me. I came down here not really knowing anybody, and they've taken me in, and I've grown to love them so much and love this community.
Right.
And the people that I work with have just become my family.
Yeah.
Becky Podlegar,
Yep.
she is my right hand, and she's one of my best friends, and we just love one another. And so all these strangers, I bring together the craziest people. Look at this woman next to me. She's the craziest. I love her. So we bring people together that never knew one another, have never done this, have never, thought they would get involved. And so it's just that idea of that friendship that we bring together. And that's what I want Encore to be for this community, is a place that they can come and be safe.
So what people may not know about you is that you had a career yourself, acting, dancing.
I sure did.
I mean, you had a resume that now you're paying it back and you're
Absolutely
paying it forward, so to speak.
I had the great opportunity to work with Ann Reinking for a long time because I did a show called Fosse, and she taught us
was great.
And instilled in us that it's all about passing it on, because if you don't, it dies.
Didn't she play Roy Scheider's wife in the movie?
In All That Jazz,
In All That Jazz.
Which was all about Bob Fosse.
Loved All That Jazz.
And so that was the big thing with Bob Fosse's choreography. If you don't pass it on, it's going to die one day.
Right.
So it's all about paying it forward and passing it forward. So anything that I can give to the people that I work with, the kids that I work with in particular, because, our studio space is growing and we're already bursting at the seams at the Encore Center, but just teaching those kids and getting them to look people in the eye and put down their devices and talk to people is just, something that brings me joy every day.
And you also get the privilege of watching, in this case, the three guests at the table grow into their roles.
Absolutely.
And relationships and friendships form.
Yep.
I mean, you just made a very nice gesture towards Julie. It's just very sweet. So there's a connection that comes out of it.
Yeah. And this cast in particular, we laugh every day at rehearsal. I cannot tell you. It's so much fun.
Betty, are you going to be, you're probably going to be recruited for something else down the road. You're a gift.
Well, thank you for saying that. But
you
yes,
are.
if there's something comes around that I feel like I could handle, I'd look forward to it. I enjoy this stuff.
Yeah. Is it tough memorizing all these lines?
Yeah, as I've gotten older, I haven't done theater in a long, long time.
Oh,
and it is, memories go. So the memorizing is difficult, but I thought I could take that challenge. The challenge I'm having is I've never sung. I've sung in glee clubs and choruses. So singing solo and being on time and on beat, that's my challenge I'm working with now.
I understand from Jacob you're also working with Laura Morgan in that endeavor.
Yes, she very nicely. I asked her, I live at Belmead, and a group that she was with came out and performed there. And I spotted her, so I thought, well, I'll go and ask her. I said, would you ever... So I looked her up a couple of months before this got started, and she helped me a little bit with coaching, but she's a very busy woman. She's extremely busy.
Yeah.
So I may try to catch her maybe one or two more times before we actually open. But the music director down there, I forget her name.
Maggie.
She's a big help. She's
we have
really
a brand new musical director for this show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So. Tell me about the setup. You've got tickets. You got 4 shows the first weekend.
Correct. We have, as always, we have our Friday night show at 7:30. Saturday we have 2 shows at 2:00 in the afternoon and 7:30 in the evening, and then Sunday at 2:00. Both weekends. Of course, our first weekend, our first Friday, the 29th, is our opening night. So we have a special VIP seating for that show in particular. There's only a few tickets left for it, but the ticket is a little bit more. It's $50 per person, but you get a table up front. There's a diner meal coming coming with it. So it's a kind of a little fun diner experience.
Meal.
Yes. I'm not exactly sure what that is yet. But I think we talked about grilling some burgers and things, and you get like a little sit-down meal for the show, which is kind of fun.
Okay.
And then the rest of the shows are our typical $17.50 and $25 is our most expensive ticket. So that just has to do with where you are located in the theater. It is a small, intimate space, so it's there's no bad seat in our house.
Percy, he hasn't told us yet. We have to prepare a meal for the opening night.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Hannah's doing that too, but she doesn't know it yet. That's not true.
That's funny. James, what do you you said you were not from here and you're new to the area. What do you think about local theater in an area like Southern Pines and what the void that the Encore Center is filling?
For me, it was really nice because I'm fresh out of college. I'm 23 years old, just graduated. This is my first job out of college.
Oh, wow.
This moved me here. And I did a lot of theater in college because we had show after show after show. I did one every single semester of my 4 years.
Right.
So for me to come to a small town, which I'm from a small town in New York, kind of used to that feel, but I was a little afraid of not being able to find a lot of theater, a lot of stuff to do, practice my craft, practice my art, and coming in and finding that the Sunrise was kicking up and doing a whole season now, and finding about the Encore and other little things here and there, it definitely helped me feel more comfortable in the community, and I feel like I'm more connected because, like Jacob said before, bringing a bunch of strangers together, I'm so used to doing theater with people that I know and have been around and live around being in college, and now coming here and I get to meet a whole new group of people every single time I do a show. So
right.
That's something I look forward to is just new connections every single show I do.
Right. And you're from upstate New York?
I am right in the Hudson Valley area, so
Nice.
I don't call it upstate.
No,
it's a
that's
little
not
not far
upstate.
enough upstate, but
That's not upstate.
But yeah,
That's south
Just outside the
mid-state.
city.
listen, I appreciate you
That's
saying that
right.
because everybody in the city usually says anything past Westchester's upstate. And I
Yeah,
say,
well,
"No."
New Yorkers, but see,
Yeah.
New Yorkers are so provincial,
Yeah, I know.
right? They think Maryland is Pluto,
Right. Yeah.
right? God, you know what they think Alabama is? No.
No,
It-
you can't even.
They're so Princeton, New Jersey is in the South. Baltimore is
Right.
the deep South. It's
So true.
It's the
So
truth.
true.
So I wish you guys very well with this production. Your timing is great. The spring is there's so much stuff happening. You actually open Springfest weekend.
That's right.
And Springfest is, if you've not been here before, it's a celebration of downtown Southern Pines, the people that live here, families. 5 different generations congregate on the streets. It's the most well-run function you've ever seen. 4 o'clock in the morning, they're out there setting it up. By the time 5 o'clock comes on Saturday and you want to go out for dinner, you can't even tell there was an event on the street.
That's fantastic.
Cleaned up and put away.
Cleaned up and put away. It's arts, it's crafts, it's people getting together who may not have seen each other for a while. You've been part of Springfest in the past.
Yeah. Well, my teen ensemble has, of course.
Okay.
So the great thing is that there's a big park right next to the theater, and a lot of it takes place there. And so our teen ensemble goes over and performs, and they actually sing a song from the Spitfire Grill this season. So it's a great little opportunity for them to perform and get our name out there.
So you're going to open Friday night.
We are.
Then all day Saturday. Well, you have a matinee that afternoon.
We do. So the cast, it's great for the cast because they do have time between the 2 shows. Our show runs about 2 hours. So around 4 o'clock till about 6 o'clock, they can be out and about. So and it's great that it's going on downtown because they can get out, walk around, get some fresh air, get something to eat, a little
Right.
relaxation, and then come back and do another show.
Right. It's going to be Saturday the 30th from 10 to 4. And there will be artwork, crafts, different artisans from all over the state who come. And, the Southern Pines Business Association has had some bad luck the last couple of years. It's not just been the pandemic, the COVID. They've had some bad weather.
Ugh.
Even last
Yeah.
year,
All
they
that
were
rain,
so it
remember?
was just marginal. We're keeping our fingers crossed that the weather will
We're
be
going
great.
to have a great one this year.
Right?
Yep.
Pollen will be gone.
Exactly.
And speaking about Springfest, are you all familiar with Red's Corner?
I am.
You are?
Yes,
No.
I've been a couple times.
Okay.
First I'm hearing about it.
Well, you know where Pony Espresso is on the corner of Morganton and Old US 1?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, she's just saying sure. you're just playing along. So there is this young lady. I call her a young lady. She's from Oregon. How do you say it?
Oregon.
Rachel Juergens. Rachel was on the show before Christmas. She was talking about the plan. She had a vision for where her coffee kiosk was. The area behind her kiosk, she has developed into a park, into a food truck park with outdoor facilities to entertain families, kids, every generation. She invested a lot of money, a lot of heart, a lot of time. And I drive and I pick up a cup of coffee just about every morning. And the crowds that they're drawing, she has transformed that. It looks like a Springfest every night.
Yeah. There's a fire pit there. There's seating. There's toys and stuff for the kids to play.
Yeah,
and
there's a
then
playground,
there's
I believe. Yeah.
there's
Oh, yeah.
6 different food trucks every night. It's amazing.
Yeah. Kurt from Kurt's Cucina
Yep.
was on with her on the show. And I guess you like Italian food.
Who doesn't?
Okay. So Kurt's Cucina has a great restaurant in town, and he is putting a food truck together. But he's behind schedule. It should be ready sometime in June, so it's just going to add to the culinary choices that people have. So kudos to Rachel Juergens. And
She's done a great job.
don't you think?
Absolutely.
And I mean, I would love to see the two of you kind of hook up and
I
use
need to
that.
get over there and talk to her. I've been
great
meaning
facility.
to because I just think she's such a gem to this community. And
She is.
I need to.
There's so much going on in the next couple of weeks, and we feel like we're back.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're glad that you guys came on. And
It's our pleasure.
Yes, thank you.
yeah, I wish you all the best with the production. He's a great guy. Jacob is a great guy to work with. And
That's what they tell me anyway.
we're going to hear more about the Encore Center as the year goes on.
Absolutely.
I'm sure we will, because you are developing and working with a lot of
we
students.
just announced our 4th season. We have summer stuff coming up for the kids, so check us out, www.encorecenter.net.
That's what I needed. We are winding down. Everybody, have a great week, and we'll talk with you next week. This is All Things Moore County.
Thank you.
Thank you.